Snowbreak's content creator program is broken again. I think that is very important to iterate here is again, because this has happened before. When Snowbreak first launched, there was a content creator program for the beta. I did not get into it at the time because I wasn't interested in Snowbreak yet. That was still when I was at the height of my Tower Fantasy days, back around mid early 2023. But then the game launched in the summer, and I got into it in 1.2. And I tried to get into the content creator program many times. The requirement was to have 500 followers on Twitch or 500 subscribers on YouTube, which I did. I was a lot smaller at the time, regarding YouTube at least. I'm not really all that much different on Twitch, to be honest, but at the time, I made the cut according to their requirements, but they never got back to me. Not once. And then a little over a year ago, NonPawn released a video about the content creator program. The first round of this shit is broken. All right. NonPawn and Vic worked together on that. And lo and behold, the content creator program was fixed. And in 2.0, I was brought in. I actually finally got an answer, a response. I got brought in and I've been in the program since. Now in 2.6, they redid the reward structure, in my opinion, very unnecessarily. And it's just been a steady reduction of rewards since then, and also a lot harder to get those rewards. So, content creator program kind of broken. So let's see. Let's read through this. It's kind of a long read, but we're going to take a look at all of this. And I'm going to premise, by the way, that here, disappointed but unsurprised, my removal from the Snowbreak CC program. This article got him kicked out of the program. He had a choice to take it down or leave the program, and he chose not to take it down. And we'll talk more about that part when we get there. So I'm going to try to read this word for word. It's a little long though. So content creators overall are beneficial for a game. They produce guides, make videos about and stream the content they cover. They generally help attract more attention and interest in the game. Amazing Season Games, the studio responsible for Snowbreak Containment Zone, certainly seems to think so, regularly advertising their CC program online. There's a link that is on Twitter. I've seen these advertisements a lot of times. Application period 2025 5/29 to 7/10. This is just for the current patch, but there's been more. It says Fragments of Truth Creator Program, but that's not really what it is. The Creator Program is not per patch. Our rewards are per patch, but you don't just get removed from the program after the patch, which is kind of how this reads. But I digress. Their ability to communicate is a little off, let's say. But they regularly advertise their content creator program online in hopes of attracting participants. It promises, quote, substantial, unquote, in-game rewards, and even the chance to receive promotional support and opportunities for direct collaboration. Certainly enticing prospects. Once upon a time, when the Snowbreak CC program was better managed, this may have been true. However, recent changes have reduced rewards and made existing shortcomings that much more obvious, making the reality much less glamorous. I can confirm everything he just said, all of it. So what makes a good CC program? To understand the failings of Snowbreak CC program, we must first identify what makes a CC program successful. Content creators and the developers of the content they cover have separate goals. Very true, but ones that align to allow for a symbiotic relationship. Content creators want support in producing content and assistance in furthering their personal careers as content creators, while the developers want promotion of their product or brand. What CCs bring to the table has already been established, and the developers, through their CC program, should enable them via two main methods. Distribution of in-game rewards to assist CCs in accessing in-game content to produce content with, for example, in-game currency and battle passes, and assistance in the promotion of content, for example, content showcases and contests. Of course, there are other methods by which a successful CC program can enable and reward its participants. These are just the main and arguably most important ones. Unfortunately, though, the Snowbreak CC program fails to provide its participants with sufficient support in these metrics. Yes, since I joined, there's been one single manager, in my opinion, overworked manager that has handled everything. I don't envy that guy's job. because holy shit, being a content creator, I want to be able to put out content that is both beneficial to the game and beneficial to me. No one watches my content, then things need to be rethought. In the Snowbreak Discord, we had our own content creator role. This is in the official Snowbreak Discord, not a separate Discord. And I want to iterate this. Let me go to a Discord channel that is not private. Okay, so I'm gonna pull my Discord over here. This is my go live channel. Yeah, don't mind that. The important part is right down here, the Snowbreak Containment Zone official Discord. If I click into that, you're going to see the Snowbreak content creator channel. I'm not going to show that to you because you don't need to see it. And honestly, there's nothing to see in the first place. Right here is the IDA Pioneers program. I cannot click on that on stream because I would break an NDA. This program is not active anymore. This was made under the 10-cent banner before Tower Fantasy switched programs, but I want to touch on kind of some basics that aren't NDA breaking. We got roles in their official Discord to post our content in restricted channels that only content creators and above could post in. Sounds like a pretty reasonable place, somewhere to advertise our content directly to an audience corresponding to the content, correct? Yes, that's a good thing of how that worked. In some cases, content creator programs give you access to betas, test servers, that sort of thing. With the Tower Fantasy program, I was invited there long after the game was live, so there was no beta access for me, but there was test server access. For the Duet Night creators, Duet Night Abyss creators Discord. I did not sign an NDA for this, but out of respect, I'm still not going to click on it on stream. For the Duet Night Abyss creators Discord, we have guaranteed access to the betas. At the moment, we have guaranteed access. Thanks to this, I was in CBT 1 and now CBT 2. And up here is Neverness to Everness. Same deal. I have beta access. I'm not actually sure when that beta starts. It should be soonish, but I'm in that program. We have beta access. That's the kind of thing you would expect from a content creator program, right? It's not the case with the Snowbreak Containment Zone creator program. Literally the only thing that you can do with the Snowbreak program is submit your content to them to get some meager amount of rewards in game. Before, we did actually have some channels where we could post our stuff, but now those channels are gone. They took away our content creator specific role. No one can actually tell that anyone is a content creator in their Discord anymore. Basically, it exists in the background. It barely benefits content creators at all. And the only benefit right now is that meager amount of rewards, which Vic will go over in this document. So let's get back into this. I just wanted to talk about other things that I think are important about what makes a good CC program. Yeah, beta access, test server access, places to post your content to put it in front of the appropriate audience. Yeah. None of that in Snowbreak anymore. We never had test server access, and beta access is long past to the point of being relevant for this. But anyway, let's continue to reduction of rewards. In the past, the CC program distributed rewards based on a tiering system where creators would receive rewards based on the performance and quality of the content submitted for review. Yes, this is what I was just talking about, where you submit your content, you get stuff for them. There were 4 tiers. Tier 1 was the top 10. Tier 2 was the top 40%. Tier 3 was the 40% to 75%. And then Tier 4 was the bottom 25%. Going from the bottom up, Tier 4 got 500 Digicash. 480 is 3 pulls, okay? Digicash times 2,000. 1,600 is 10 pulls. So you would get 13 pulls out of 2,000 Digicash, I think, or 12. Math is hard. Anyway, Digicash times 2,000 and Manifestation Echo Covenant times 10, equivalent to 3,600 Digicash. Okay, yes. So this is the limited character pull, okay? So 1,600 equivalent, 2,000, that's math checks out. Up here is a little different. Digicash times 2,800, Echo Covenant times 10, weapon modding times 10. These are the limited weapon pulls. So you would get 10 of each type of pull, 2,800 Digicash for a total of 6,000 worth. This was nearly 20 pulls as it is. So in addition, all CCs receive the highest tier of the premium battle pass. Okay, he did mention that, which contains 680. Now, this 680 Digicash and 4 operative banner tickets isn't exclusive to the CC program, but we would get that for free. We wouldn't have to pay for it. Now, good luck. So 680, that is 5 pulls? 4 pulls. 4 pulls and some change. 4 limited banner tickets, so a total of up to 8 pulls from that. Just shy of 40 pulls here. So you would get nearly 50 pulls. Almost 50 pulls for being a tier 1. Little over 20 pulls for being a tier 2. Little over 10 pulls for being a tier 3. Let's scroll down and see what they changed it to. This is in 2.6, the first wave of changes. The tiers were based on how many followers you had. 30K plus was the social media followers, so combined YouTube, Twitch, etc. If you had 30K, you were in tier 1. If you had 5 to 30K, you were in tier 2, which I've been at 5K since this change was announced. So I would have been in tier 2 myself. And tier 3, less than 5,000. So everyone else. The rewards, the standard rewards, going from bottom to top for tier 3 was 160 Digicash and 500. This was 160 for live streaming. That's a pull, 1 pull. Okay. And 500, which is 3 pulls and a little change. Does he talk about the requirements to actually get this? By the way, yes, rewards are not cumulative. Only the highest reward tier in each category would be rewarded. Yes, so I'm a tier 2, or would have been, in this case, a tier 2. Had I submitted content, which I didn't, I boycotted that patch because I thought this was bullshit. I still do. So I would have gotten these rewards, maybe, but not these rewards. That's how that worked. You would only get your own tiers rewards. Let's see, in tier 2, you would get 320 for the live stream and 800 for videos. That's YouTube. So this is 5 pulls. That's 2 pulls. What's up, Aka? We're talking about how shitty the Snowbreak containment zone content creator program, what a mouthful, has become. And in tier 1, you could get 3 pulls from live streams. And what was 1,000? That was like 6 or 7 pulls, something like that. I don't want to keep doing math. All right, look, man, 6 pulls. It was 6 pulls. Okay, since 500 was 3 pulls, 1,000 is 6 pulls. Clearly, math is hard. And if you could hit the advanced rewards, you would get extra. So tier 3 could get 480 and 1K. Tier 2 could get 960 and 1600. And tier 1 could get 1440 and 2000. So that's what, 3000 there, another 2000 there, 5000 Digicash roughly. That's just a little bit over 30 pulls for a tier 1. I think there were 2 people that qualified for tier 1. In tier 2, which is what I would have been in if I had submitted, which I didn't. Let's see, 1600. I'm just going to pull out the goddamn calculator because I'm sick of trying to add shit that's not easy. So 800 plus 320 plus 1600 plus 960. That's 3600. That's a little more than 20 pulls. So we went from, me personally, I went from being able to get just shy of 50 pulls to about half of that, just a little bit over half of that. This was precisely 23 pulls. Yeah, they gutted the rewards. Actually, it was literally half. How about that? So tier 3 would have gotten 500, 160, 1000, 480, 2140, which is 13 and 3/8 of a pull. I guess you could get 3/8 of a character with that 1/3 of a pull, but that's a stupid joke. I'm not sorry though. This is terrible. These advanced rewards were really hard to hit. Like the view requirements were higher than what this game typically gets, unless you're just a huge content creator and you're going to get tens of thousands of views on most of your videos regardless. These were really hard to get. You typically would not get them, so you could expect at best to get these and consider this a bonus. All right. These changes meant that almost, if not all CCs would be receiving drastically fewer rewards. No, it was literally all. I think except if you were in tier 4, you would get more because tier 4 only got 500 and tier 3 would get slightly more if they could get all of the advanced rewards. But other than that, everyone got fewer rewards, a lot fewer in some cases. As well, the rewards being based on follower count explicitly punished smaller CCs. Almost 70% of the participants in the CC program had fewer than 5,000 followers. Yes, there was only a handful of us at 5K plus. By further reducing the rewards they could receive, in the old system, a smaller CC could theoretically work hard, maybe even get a little lucky, and fight for a spot at the top. But under the new system, they would be confined to their rewards bracket, which ensured a smaller payout no matter how hard they work. And that is the biggest problem of this system. They changed it somewhat for the better for availability, and somewhat for the worse in actual rewards. But we'll get to that in a little bit. He'll cover it soon. Furthermore, the premium battle pass was also no longer a base reward, but only awarded to the top 10 CCs. That's right. I think I misspoke earlier when we were looking up here. All CCs received the highest tier of the premium battle pass. I think except tier 4. I don't think tier 4 got the premium battle pass, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we go from everyone gets the battle pass to top 10 gets the battle pass. And get this, if you got top 10 on the live stream and the video categories, they were separate, by the way. If you got the top 10 on those two categories, you'd get the battle pass twice, and someone else that could have gotten one of those is just cucked. Yeah. Of the 20 available battle passes for streaming and video creating, there you could get 2, and other people would just be, yeah. Anyway, this, even considering that this was provided to the top 10 CCs in each of the video and live stream categories, that still left over half of all the CCs without a battle pass reward. Overall, the system spat in the face of smaller CCs for having fewer follower counts, while rewarding larger CCs by reducing their rewards as well. It's truly baffling how someone could look at this and approve it, knowing full well that it would not be positively received. And it was not. Backlash from CCs was immediate and intense. Yes, it was. Clearly signaling discontent with these announced changes. Despite this, the changes went through with only a promise that it would be changed in the future. Yeah, that is accurate. So when they posted this, immediately the chat was the most active in those couple of days ever. It was never more active before that, and it hasn't been that active since then. And there's so few people there now that it ain't going to happen again. There was so much, so much. Everyone was throwing out ideas of how to improve it. A lot of us were just saying to put it back like it was. It was working fine before. Don't fix it if it ain't broken, etc. A second try. One patch later, with the 2.7 Abyssal Dawn update, another change was made, introducing a new system based purely on submission performance metrics. This is a positive improvement over this, objectively speaking. The 2.7 was better than the 2.6. You were not confined to follower count brackets. Instead, does he show what the requirements were for the tiers? I guess not. I think these tiers were more like if I recall correctly, I think these tiers are more like, wait, no, I can actually see what they were like. I have screenshots of my own. Hold up. I'm just going to pull this up on stream real quick. Copy link. Why do you have a girl avatar instead of a guy? Because I'm a girl. So the tiering system was based on how much you got in your views and how many hours you streamed. So tier 1 was submit at least one valid video with over 500 total views. Tier 2, 1,500. Tier 3, 3,000. Tier 4, 5,000. Tier 5, 8,000. Me personally, I could have gotten the 8,000. I just wasn't active enough, so I got the 5,000, I think, or the 3,000. I don't remember. I don't care. It wasn't very much anyway. And if you got tier 5, you would get a battle pass. And I think this did not care how many people would get it. I think everyone could get this if they could get that many views. I am honestly okay with requiring a certain amount of views to get certain rewards. I don't see anything wrong with putting the ultimate battle pass on a tier that everyone can reach if they work hard enough. However, the total rewards were still dookie. So let's see. Opal vouchers, in-game stuff. We only really care about the pulls they gave us. So Manifestation Echo Covenant 1 at tier 2. You got a single pull at tier 2. You got no pulls at tier 1. You got 640 digicash. That's 4 pulls at tier 3. You got a weapon modding agreement times 3. And a Manifestation Echo Covenant times 3. That is 3 of each, the character and weapon pulls. And at tier 5, you would get the ultimate pass for free. And digicash times 800, which was 5 pulls. So you would get a total of 1, 5, 11, 16. 16 pulls if you got tier 5 from the video category. For the live stream category, by the way, I'm not even going to talk about the viral video reward, because getting a 10K view video on Snowbreak, that's like finding the Ark of the Covenant. I only ever had one single video that went over 10K for this game. And in fact, that one went over 50K. It was the Snowbreak Uncensored video. How to uncensor your game. Still up, by the way. I think it's got like 60-something thousand. I don't know at this point. But anyway, last stream category rewards. Stream at least one valid day with a valid duration of over 2 hours to receive all that stuff. No pulls there. Tier 2, 3 days, 6 hours. Tier 3, 7 days, 14 hours. Tier 4, 14 days, 28 hours. And Tier 5, 20 days and 40 hours. It did not matter for these tiers how many viewers you had. You had to just stream for that amount of time. So if you streamed for 30 minutes, that was the minimum. 30 minutes a day, 20 days, and for a total of 40 hours, which you would have to stream on those 20 days, you would have to stream 2 hours each day to reach 40. You would receive all the rewards. And the rewards for the live stream category were identical to the video category. So another 16 pulls and another battle pass, which I think would convert into 640 currency. I think that's how much you get, either that or 480 or something. You'd get a few extra pulls from the extra battle pass because, I mean, you couldn't get 2 battle passes. And the live popularity reward is calculated by multiplying the average number of viewers by a valid stream duration for a single live stream. Get over 400 popularity value for a single live stream to receive DigiCash times 1,000. If you exceed 800 points, you'd get DigiCash times 2,000. So average number of viewers by the valid stream duration. I think this was each viewer counted every half an hour. One of my streams was like several hundred value. I don't remember exactly, but I might have been able to get this 2,000 here myself if I was more active during this patch, which I wasn't. Anyway, let's close this, get back into this. So it was 16 for the video and 16 for the live stream category, plus battle passes. With each rewards tier being cumulative, a CC could receive up to 1440 DigiCash, 4 limited operative banner tickets, 3 limited weapon banner tickets, and the premium battle pass. Certainly a relative increase on paper, but this was still less than the rewards available under the original system for high-performing CCs. Yep, I would have gotten, if I had maxed out Tier 5 on both, 32 pulls, a battle pass, and just a few extra, whereas in the original, it was just shy of 50. Certainly a relative increase on paper. This was still less than the rewards available under the original system for high-performing CCs, while the tiered reward system kept the vast majority of the truly valuable rewards out of reach of CCs, with small followings, which again compromise the vast majority of participants. Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to be able to get that higher tier, which kind of sucks. I do try to help people the best I can. I'm not that big myself. I can only talk about my experience, but making shorts, posting them on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, that'll help get you up in those tiers. Now, they won't count your Instagram post, but you post on Instagram, you can advertise your content on the other platforms. But yeah, I gave out advice to anyone that asked or it came up on how to get some more views. But I mean, my advice isn't going to be the best since I myself am not all that big. But, you know, I've done something right to get what I have. So I gave advice on how to get at least that. But anyway, a lot of them would just not be able to get all of the rewards, which, you know, kind of suck. So continuing, this new system also came with other rewards up to 100,000 silver bucks, 10 large stamina refills, 300 opal vouchers, while not nothing. These are largely worthless fodder to the vast majority of CCs who have developed accounts and a surplus of these materials. Yeah, personally, I wouldn't really need all that. I typically have millions of silver bucks. I have tons of stamina refills that are permanent, no timer on them from the battle passes. I think I have 50 of them. 50 of them that are worth 60 energy apiece. So if you do the math, that's thousands of energy. And then 300 opal vouchers, that's really not a big deal either. Like, I completely agree. These rewards are just kind of whatever for veterans. For a brand new player, they would be pretty nice. But there's not a lot of brand new players that are going to be signing up for the CC program. I don't think there was any, as a matter of fact. But by the time that they would sign up, they would find out about it, they would sign up. I mean, these rewards wouldn't really be that big a deal to them either. Let's see. Where was I? It begs the question of why the premium battle pass, which already offers all of these resources and more, was no longer a reward to all CCs. How is Snowbreak doing nowadays? Kind of. The game itself is great. There's some power creep. Some of the bosses are dookie. The current boss that's in the Neural Sim rotation that's going to be there every week for this patch, the Leviathan, is absolute dookie. But generally, the game's good. It's just this is the content creator drama. It's kind of, they're doing us dirty. They're doing this dirty. Aka's right, by the way. Until they hit their third event, then it's worthless. Talking about these rewards up here. That's pretty much about how long it would take for these to not really be that big a deal. Where was I again? Inactive CCs were already being regularly removed from the program, or at least that's how it's claimed to work. So it's not like there should have been cases of freeloading. And I mean, if you were not submitting, you would not get any rewards in the first place. So there is that. Many CCs rely on these rewards to allow them to pull for characters and weapons to make guides, reviews, and other gameplay content with. That stuff from 2.0 to 2.5, those rewards where I was getting 30 at the start and then up to 50 consistently, pulls, by the way. All of those content creator rewards significantly helped me to be able to get all of the characters. I have all the characters in the game now. Most of them are built. So I can make guides on every character. He's absolutely right. Having those extra rewards helped so much. It really sucks not having them now. My pull currency is just since the end of 2.5, since the start of 2.6, it's just been kind of dwindling. I'm also very stingy with my pulls. I don't pull the weapons on every character, only some, and I only pull a single copy of characters. I want to make sure I can get characters in the long term too, but my own stock is dwindling. I'll probably be fine for 2.0, but to come 2. I'll probably be fine for 3.0. That's the next patch, but 3.1 might be a bit of a concern. But yeah, this is especially important in Snowbreak, where the time-gated nature of manifestation farming incentivizes pulling for a character on day one. Reducing rewards only hinders the CC's ability to produce content, reducing the quantity, and quality of the content produced of the game. Yeah, say, reduce the rewards, suddenly can't pull all the characters. That missing character is a patch worth of content, basically, that you just don't get to make. Like, if you can't pull the character right away, you can't make content on that character right away and capitalize on people searching for that new character. You know, you get a guide out day one, you get a content showcase out day one. People are going to look at it. You put the content showcase on this character out 3 weeks later, everyone's already seen it. You're not going to get as many views. Your placement in the tiering system here will just decrease. It's like a negative feed on itself. The lower your tier, the less you can pull. The less you can pull, the less content you get to make off of new characters, the less your tier will be going forward from there. Kind of sucks. Anyway, moving on. Reduction in support. Promoting the CCs that produce content for your game seems like an easy win-win situation. The CC gets more traffic to their content, and the developer gets more player-based engagement and a more active community overall. So for CSUN to reduce their promotional support for CCs is truly an interesting decision. I have gotten, in my time making Snowbreak content, well into the hundreds of comments. Yo, what's this game? I want to try it out. Oh, downloading this game. This looks awesome. I've gotten a lot of people to download this game. A lot of people. I have probably made CSUN money in the hundreds of dollars range minimum. Yeah, probably more than that. A lot of people have tried this game out because of me. A lot of people have tried this game out because of other content creators. It's kind of a good thing to have us. To be clear, it's not like they were doing much to begin with. Admittedly, Snowbreak does have a Twitch drop campaign every patch, but this should be the bare minimum for a competent CC program, not something exceptional. I disagree. A Twitch drop campaign should be everybody, not just the CC program. That needs to be everybody, every patch, for every gacha. If you're a gacha game and you don't have drop campaign, that kind of sucks. Like Tower Fantasy, if you were not in the content creator program, at about patch 3.0 and onward, you didn't have drops on Twitch. And there were so few of us that there was only really one main source to get drops. And those drops were nice. You'd get several pulls. But I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. The point is, I'm trying to make there is, that shouldn't be a CC program thing. That needs to be an everybody thing. God damn it, Aka. A lot of them tried out the game because you kept zooming in on the girls' butts. I mean, to be fair, you're a good reason why some of them have tried it out too. Mr. I found out where Cherno reloads her ammo from. That's still my biggest Snowbreak TikTok, by the way. Cherno pulling ammo out of her ass. Literally out of her butt. 60,000 views. And several comments of, I'm gonna try this game. God damn it. The only instance of CSUN actually promoting a CC in the program that I'm aware of was a single tweet. Is this a tweet? That's a tweet. Okay. I'm really hesitant to open things on stream. Professor Freesia is on the front page. Check it out now. Non-pawn does not stream this game anymore because he, as far as I know, he quit gotchas entirely. I cannot confirm myself. I'm just going by what I'm told. But he quit Snowbreak. Don't blame him. He quit it at the cusp of 2.6 when when the first round of adjustments were made to the rewards. Yeah. Show you? All right, sure. I'll pull that video up. Give me a second. It's one of my pinned videos on TikTok. Now, this is going to be with my old AI voice, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, you'll be able to hear it. No wonder I'm not getting very many views. Shadow banned. Fucking kidding me with this. Oh, sorry for showing the better game, by the way. My bad. There's Cherno's butt video. There it is. All right, here you go.
I just realized she pulled the magazine clip out of her ass.
Sorry, what?
When she pulls her magazine, she pulls it out from behind her, but because she has nothing back there except for her ass, it looks like she's pulling it out of her thong.
Literally just shitting ammo. Sounds appropriate. I need you to reload for me so I can see that. See, I'd have the maid outfit, so it just looks like she's pulling it out from under.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh my god, it is. I had a good view of that too.
Yeah, literally would just pull out of her butt. I don't know how she pooped magazines, but she did. Anyway, back to this. Wow, we're going to be here forever. Goddamn. All right, where were we? Yeah, this is where they promoted Non-Pawn. That was a feat which he achieved through his own efforts and not through any assistance from CSUN, mind you. Pretty much, yes. Yes. And honestly, kind of comes off as CSUN trying to piggyback off the success of one of their CCs. I agree. I do. I agree. Around the same time as the CC rewards were being reduced, the official Snowbreak Discord server also removed the channels. We talked about this earlier. I was wondering, I forgot. Look, I've already read this, but I forgot if some things, okay? They removed the channels where CCs used to post their content and advertise their streams. The space on the channel list has seemingly been replaced with channels for users to interact with a bot. Alongside the removal of the CC media channels, though, was the removal of a private channel where CCs could provide feedback directly to our CC manager to pass along. It was well used by CCs. Yes, it was. I used it a lot myself. And I personally used this channel multiple times in the past to bug report issues with the game. Same. It was very good. We were able to get things sent in, and then suddenly a day or two later, hot fixes. Yeah, some of us actually drove hot fixes. They would listen to us, but now it's gone. Salt in the wound. The official statements regarding these changes have not been what I'd describe as helpful. After the removal of the CC media channels, an announcement told CCs to just post their works in a public media channels instead. Yeah, because they got rid of ours, so we had to post it with everyone else's, which it's not terrible to post it with everyone else's, but since we were in the program, we still should have had our own place to post them. At the same time, we promised cash incentives for creators who, quote, continue to produce high-quality works, unquote, while also offering to, quote, provide content guidance to creators to help them achieve better works in the long term, unquote. Yeah, neither one of those ever happened. After weeks of backlash within the CC discussion channels regarding all of the changes that took place and many CCs announcing their departure from the program, one final announcement was made as apparent damage control. This entire thing is a big quote, so I'm not even... The roles and reward structure of Abyssal Dawn Creator Program is nearly the final version for their future creator programs. It's a pity if anyone eventually decides to quit the creator program. We truly thank you for your contributions to Snowbreak in the past and wish you a brilliant content creator career, yeah, back in words, in the future. P.S. If you have made up your mind, please kindly inform me of your leaving via DM instead of in the chat channel. For many others that will still stay, let me restart that sentence. For many others that will still stay a company with Snowbreak, that's a little bit of a grammar, but we appreciate that a lot. As said before, we will use other forms of reward events or cash cooperation as reward supplement to build connection with our creators in the long term. With the increasing exposure of Snowbreak in the future, I believe your channel and video performance will also benefit from it. Thank you for your support as always. I want to pick that apart in particular. Views in Snowbreak for the vast majority of creators is less than 1,000. Most of my shorts are less than 1,000. A handful of them are above 1,000 views. People don't care about Snowbreak anymore. With the increasing exposure of Snowbreak in the future, I know why that line is there. It's because they sponsored big creators like Tectone, Braxophone, Styx to stream their game on day one or day 2 or whatever of the patch. And those, I'm not going to go further into that right this minute because he does soon enough. But yeah, with the increase in exposure of Snowbreak in the future, I believe your channel and video performance will also benefit from it. No, it will not. I still make content for Snowbreak because it's a passion. I have been an inch from calling it quits on this game for the past 2 patches. Since 2.6, the initial set of changes made me so disillusioned with this game. I barely played it in 2.6. I didn't complete all of the stuff. Ake, you were still playing at the time. We barely got a couple of the things done, and then you quit halfway through that patch, I think. I still play it because I like the game. I like the characters, but this game is not beneficial to anyone's growth because the time spent making content for this game, streaming this game, if spent on almost any other game, you're going to have much better performance. Say if I took all of the time I spent on Snowbreak the past 3 weeks, however long this patch has been out so far, it would be just Woowa, Zenless, Star Rail, pretty much just Woowa. To be honest, I would have tens of thousands more views because I would have had many, many, many more shorts. My viewer count, my live viewer count on all platforms would have been at least a little bit higher. I average more than 8 viewers when I'm playing Booba, when I'm playing Zenless. I switch categories. We start playing Withering Waves. That's the best thing I can do for this stream right now. But just going over this in the Snowbreak category is a huge detriment to me. This statement that they made is not further from the truth. Covering any other game, spending the time on any other game. Duet Night Abyss, for example. That's in beta right now. That's a hot topic. Neverness to Everness is coming up. And like I said, Booba, other big games, even fucking Genshin, you're going to get a lot more performance, a lot better performance on other games. This game is not worth it compared to other games. I'm sorry, it's not. Okay, so continuing, we're back to what Vic is saying here. The announcement ended with a link to the public FanWorks contest that was running at the time, sending a very clear message and one that I have explicitly told in personal correspondence with other CSUN staff that if CCs were unhappy about the rewards being reduced, then they should look to a FanWorks I'm sorry, I misread this. And one that I have explicitly been told in personal correspondence with other CSUN staff. Yes, I had that exact same thing. Our manager told me in DM as well that if CCs weren't happy about the rewards being reduced, then they should look to the FanWorks contest to supplement their rewards. Ironically enough, this FanWorks contest offered better rewards than the CC program itself. 3,200 Digicash for equivalent for the first prize. That's 10 pulls worth of Digicash and 5 pulls of each type of pull. I got the second prize for this one. I got 5 of each pull. 10 total pulls. My submissions for the content creator program, yeah, I got 5 pulls worth of currency and then 1 more character pull on top of that. I got almost twice the reward off of the second prize than I got off of, I think, tier 4 in the content creator program. Yeah, imagine getting better rewards in a public contest than the creator program. Yep. This announcement, which claims to appreciate the CC still in the program while simultaneously telling them to compete in a public contest for the rewards they used to receive from the CC program, is nothing short of a slap in the face. Agreed. To then promise the benefits of the increasing exposure of Snowbreak in the future. Yeah, ain't that a funny one? Increasing exposure of Snowbreak in the future. Like I said, covering any other game be a better benefit to people's channels. Like, you only really do Snowbreak if you're passionate about it, if you actually like this game. You don't do it if you're looking to build your career. Absolutely not. On one hand, while actively removing avenues for CCs to promote their content on the other. Yeah, so that's where we couldn't post in the media channels anymore because they deleted them. All the while having the nerd ass that CCs not publicly voice their discontent. Hey, I'm publicly voicing my discontent right now. This fucking sucks. Yep, this needs to change. That's the whole purpose of this. This needs to change. It's a level of discontent and tone deafness that is quite honestly incredible. It reads like something written by a suit and handed down to the CC manager to post, because for anyone actually involved in the management of the CC program to genuinely believe this statement implies an impossible level of incompetence. Yes, this is definitely not coming from the manager. I will not speak for the manager, but I will say what I think. I think the manager disagrees with all of this too, but he can't do anything about it. He actually can't. So it kind of sucks. Like I said, I don't envy that man. I feel sorry that he has to deal with this shit. Anyway, I feel this needs emphasized, so I'll say it again. Despite all of CSUN's promises and claims, I have not heard or seen any CC in the program receive the special incentives that are supposedly available. I've not seen any promotional support or opportunities for direct collaboration, nor have I heard of any instances of CCs receiving cash incentives or content guidance. Well, there is one instance on technicality, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, that's about the sponsorships I mentioned, by the way. Yeah, I don't know of anyone that has received any cash incentives or promotional support either, and I'm pretty sure it just has not happened. My personal experiences. As someone who runs a website, TM, I have the privilege of being one of the more prominent Snowbreak content creators. As such, I have received special treatment and perks like a monthly 3,000 Digicash bonus reward for the upkeep of Snowbreak.gg, and on one occasion, merchandise rewards. Me too! Not the 3,000 bonus, but me too! I think I got a 2,000 bonus. I think I was getting tier 2 and tier 3 at the same time. I don't remember. But yeah, I got the merchandise too. Yeah, why don't we just go over to my YouTube channel real quick? You can see we're live here, but we're going to look for videos. Where is it at? Being an official Snowbreak CC sucks. Fourth newest video. Being an official Snowbreak CC sucks. Yeah, I go over here. We're just going to mute that. But I go over in here about the merchandise that we get. If you want to watch the whole video, I'll link it in all of my chats. I'm not going to watch my own video here because I'm not going to linger on me. But anyway, I can close that tweet. Yeah, there was merchandise, and they asked us not to tell anyone that we got it. Oops. Yeah, that kind of respect of not telling things just because you asked us not to went out the window when you gutted our rewards, when you gutted the program, when you drove people to leave. Yeah, I have not signed an NDA, by the way. Anyway, as well, you may have noticed that within the CC reward structure, there was no category for written content, the medium that I primarily work in. That's right. Vic does incredible work on this website. I personally used his guide, and I also gave him feedback on his guide as I went through it. I used his guide to unlock Need a Pulse. We can probably find it with just a couple of clicks. Where is it at? Pulse puzzle walkthrough right here. Yeah, I followed this to the T. I found a couple things that I believe he added to it, but without this guide, I would not have gotten Need a Pulse when I got her. I still might not have her, to be honest. But yeah, Vic does very good work with this website. Cannot be understated. There should be a written content, or at least a way to factor in the written content into the program I digress. He does good work, and in my opinion, he's not really appreciated for it. I appreciate it for it. But anyway, to get around this, I was given special permission to submit my articles and guides under the fan art category. Though at some period in time, the special edge case was retracted, and the monthly Digicat bonus that I was receiving became the base reward for the written content that I submitted. I actually only found out about this yesterday while compiling information for this article. Still, between that and the reasonable amount of views that my neural sim run videos got on YouTube, I was comfortably among the better rewarded CCs. Incidentally, yes, he does have a YouTube channel, by the way, guys. He does have a YouTube channel. We are going to pull that up and link it. Vicyush. See if I can find him. Yeah, right here. Just going to drop that in all my chats too. If you are a Snowbreak enjoyer, he posts some Snowbreak content, primarily in his neural sim videos. Incidentally, I was approached by a CSUN staff member 2 months ago, not the CC program manager, demanding that I sign an NDA and manage the channels in the official Discord server as conditions for my continuing Digicash bonus. Obviously, I refused, expecting me to do additional moderation work for the same payment of fake video game currency. Yeah, it does technically have a monetary value, but I mean, you never get anything out of it. Back from it. Yeah, expecting me to do additional moderation work for the same payment I was already receiving is quite frankly ridiculous, and the requirement of an NDA was in itself a red flag. While this was supposedly company policy, nothing I currently do would require an NDA. It's not like I receive insider information, and based on my previous experiences attempting to get access to such information, I'd imagine that it would be a cold day in hell before that ever changes. The only use for it that I could think of would be as a tool to suppress any content I produce that they don't like. For example, this article. Yeah, this article probably wouldn't exist if he assigned that NDA. They would have had the legal power to force him to take it down. Sad, ain't that? But yeah, I want to talk about NDAs for content creators briefly too. I mentioned it earlier. I signed an NDA for the Tower of Fantasy content creator program before they switched back to the publisher that okay, so Tower Fantasy Global started out with Tencent, Level Infinite, and then a couple months ago, the publisher of the CN version of the game took over. They switched from the global publisher to the CN publisher. So the CN guys publish both versions of the game. Well, actually, there's like 4 versions, but I digress. The CN publisher handles all of it. So the global content creator program that was part of the previous publisher, gone. The Discord is still there, but yeah. Anyway, we had to sign an NDA because there were things that we were given access to, such as their content creator Discord, their test servers. There were things that we could not show to the public. And I agree that a lot of that stuff should not be shown to the public. And that's as much as I'm going to say about it. I am not sure how much more I can say about it because I did sign the NDA. But as an example, test server access would be a good reason to have an NDA. Yeah, Snowbreak didn't have that. Despite refusing these terms, I've still received the bonus payment as of last month, but whether that changes going forward is something to be, not anymore, to be seen. I can't imagine this article will make them particularly enthusiastic about it, though. You were right. So why make this post if, relatively speaking, I'm pretty well off? I've got mine after all, so who cares about anyone else? I have little to gain personally from speaking up and much to lose. It's this kind of person that the world needs. The world needs more people like this. If you're the type of person that I got mine, fuck you, I don't want anything to do with you. If you don't care about everyone else getting theirs, fuck you. Respectively. Vic, on the other hand, I got mine after all. Still going the extra mile so that others get theirs. That's also why I'm doing this video in the first place. I'm risking getting kicked out of the CC program myself, just making this video covering this topic. But I want there to be more eyes on this because they need to change it. Unfortunately, I personally am not big enough, but maybe we get lucky with this video, or maybe someone bigger will come along and react to it. You never know. We need more eyes on this topic. Anyway, it's because as someone fortunate enough to have the platform that I do, I believe that it's my duty to use it for the benefit of others. Amen. Respect. This means producing guides and covering news, but also pointing out things that are broken and advocating for them to be fixed, like this program. Because while I receive special treatment, others within the CC program don't. And they don't have the audience and reach that I do to meaningfully speak out and be heard. But why make these changes? Honestly, I don't know. It could be a disdain for the global side of the game, gross incompetence, or outright sabotage, but without any evidence, it's hard to say for certain, though I have been explicitly told that Global wasn't allowed access to the CN side beta content on 2 occasions. Yeah, apparently the CN creator program actually does have test server access, apparently. I cannot say that for certain either, but we're not allowed that access. I can say that. I know that for a fact. No global CC has test server access. But one thing that I'm willing to say is that it probably isn't because Samsung is cheaping out, or at the very least, I hope so. As of version 2.5, the last patch that used the old reward system, the CC rankings and rewards distribution were made available to all CCs to see. Using this data, it could be determined that even under a worst case scenario, the cost, keep in mind this is all fake video game currency at the end of the day, using that data, it could be determined that even under a worst case scenario of all CC rewards distributed was less than 3,400 USD. Wow, you actually went the extra mile. That's a spreadsheet. I'm not going to open that on stream. Yeah, I'm going to open that over here. Yeah. Ha! Holy shit. Look at this. Names redacted for privacy. Thank you. Yeah, look, $122 per person, $82, $56, $9 total. Yeah, that's not very much. That didn't actually cost them. Giving us that stuff for free, I guarantee you they made far more money than that off of us because, that's how content creators work. We get their game publicity, they get more players. But here's the fun part coming up here in a second. Here's the fun part coming up. The ethics of attempting to make money off of content creators you're supposedly supporting aside, is CSUN really so stingy, or Snowbreak doing so poorly financially that they need this small amount of revenue that they might receive from CCs making out-of-pocket purchases to cover the difference between their former and current CC rewards? Yeah, the vast majority of those CCs have already either quit, thus you're not getting any money out of them, or they just refuse to pay. Like, I'm still mulling over whether I get the battle pass for the current patch. I'm still mulling it over. Yeah, realistically, they might get a couple hundred of that $3,400 out of us that are still left. Maybe, probably not even, probably less than 100, let's be real. At any rate, it costs nothing to not remove Discord channels for CCs to promote their content in. Yes, that would have actually probably gained them money by having that. I know this sounds like an extremely trivial and petty thing to be hung up on about. That's exactly the point. It's such a small perk, but CSUN still went out of their way to remove it. Yeah, if something seems trivial, why bother removing it in the first place? Why go through all that effort? They did go through that effort. At any rate, it cost, we just read that. Many other games have CC programs of their own with substantially better rewards and special perks. To name one example, Hoyoverse Games, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero offer beta server access to CCs, allowing them to preview new characters and content. Yeah, you know all those early access videos that you'll see on YouTube for like Star Rail? Yeah, that's exactly what this is from. Yes. But we don't have to look at major blockbuster games to find examples of how to run a CC program well. Consider Crystal of Atlan. Okay, yeah, this is for that chart. For insight on the resources available to the Crystal of Atlan development team, a comparison of revenue between Crystal of Atlan's CN server, blue, Crystal of Atlan's recently launched global server, red, and Snowbreak Containment Zone, global revenue, yellow. Yeah, so there's this little bit of red right over here. This is since Crystal of Atlan's global launch. But yeah, so Snowbreak is yellow and COA is blue. Yeah, look how much better that's been doing. Ain't that something? This little spree here for Snowbreak from late spring to a couple half a year ago. That was when the program was actually good. Yeah, it's been months now, by the way. Despite only being words are hard. Despite being only about a month into its global release and generating roughly the same amount of revenue as Snowbreak, it is somehow already able to actively feature guides produced by content creators right in the game itself. Holy shit. Featured community creator guides. Yeah, this is crazy. Actually going above and beyond. Oh, this was revenue. Still, this increase in net revenue kind of corresponds to the CC program being good. Hey, look at that. It was trash during this first spree. Yeah, I want to point that out, especially. Snowbreak's global revenue was trash when their CC program was bad in this stretch. And now that it's bad again, ooh, looky there. The current CC program actually went into January. So right about here. So they had a couple dips. Maybe these couple of dips, like maybe they lost faith in us because of those couple of dips. But yeah, it's even worse now that content creators are just gone. Yeah, maybe fucking us over was a bad idea. Maybe you would still have at least this revenue instead of this revenue if you still had all your CCs. Maybe not dicking us over would have been a good thing. Maybe you'd be making more money. I digress. You've probably never even heard of Crystal of Atlan, but that's exactly my point. It's I didn't hear about it until it launched in global about a month ago, 2 months ago. If even a relatively obscure niche game like this can put in the effort to do well by their content creator community, why can't Snowbreak? And for all of their stinginess, it seems that Samsung has quite a bit of money to spend because even as they cut the CC rewards, they've also been busy paying big names in the gacha space, Tectone Sticks and Braxophone. These are the examples I used because I remembered them from this article when I was talking about this a little while ago. Yeah. To name a few, to host sponsored live streams and produce sponsored YouTube videos. This is that exception to the nobody has received any opportunities for direct collaboration thing I mentioned earlier, by the way, as Styx is technically in the CC program despite not regularly producing Snowbreak content. Of course, I have no ill will toward these creators, nor do I lay any blame on them for accepting these offers. By all means, get that bag. And I want to echo that sentiment. I wanted to make that very clear. The money that Tectone, Styx, and Braxophone got from their sponsorships, they 100% deserve. Absolutely. And to an extent, I can't blame Samsung for wanting to get some more established creators to help promote Snowbreak. I think that's a great thing. They should. Sponsoring bigger creators is a good thing. It's a much better chance of driving people to the game. It didn't really work, but yeah. But to cut CC rewards while spending massive sums of money on influencer marketing, yeah, this is something right here that I told him. Tectone himself is quoted as being paid $1 per viewer per hour on sponsored streams. That's kind of a misstatement. He didn't say that he's being paid that. He said that that's what your value is. Now, yes, he probably is being paid more than that, but I am certain he's being paid at least that. But the message here is sponsorships are typically $1 per viewer per hour on a sponsored stream, making his 5,500 viewer average streams quite pricey. Yeah, so $5,500 an hour for a 2-hour block. That's $11,000. I don't know if that's what he got paid, but that is a good ballpark. That eclipses how much the CC rewards were worth. And again, he deserves that money. He's big. He works hard for it. He has worked hard for it in the past. He deserves it. Absolutely. We deserve what we were getting before too, though. At least to me, this says that CSUN doesn't actually want a CC program. They want already popular personalities to do advertising for them. And that really sums up what the CC program feels like now. Honestly, yeah. CCs in the program don't feel they're wanted or that their work is valued. And when they're treated how they are now, can you really blame them? Yeah, a lot of people just left already. I'm still here, barely. Maybe not after this video. It's true that CSUN has no obligation to provide any rewards or other assistance at all to content creators, and that content creators are not entitled to any special treatment. However, CSUN is not entitled to content creators that produce Snowbreak content. And content creators are free to choose to cover a different game instead, and they should. Covering bigger games is more beneficial to your career. Absolutely. Why should they spend their time, effort, and sometimes even money producing content for a game that doesn't appreciate their work when they could instead cover a game? Yeah. Instead, cover a game that will treat them better and reward them more. Indeed. That's what's happened since these changes were pushed through. Many content creators have already quit the CC program, and I can only imagine that more are to follow. Yeah, there was this mass ban from the Snowbreak official server the other day. I don't really want to talk about that much. I just want to state that some problems occurred with the bots and moderators and whatever the case. 40,000 people were banned from the Snowbreak official Discord. 40,000. Yes. 40,000. 4 zeros. 40,000, including most of the content creators. There's not very many of us left. I got banned. I was not going to bother even going back, but the manager went above and beyond and reached out to us directly. That's the only reason I went back. Because to me, that said, maybe this is still salvageable. And it's also because of that I still care enough to make this kind of video. But yeah, there's barely anyone left. There might be 15 people in the creator program now. I'm not sure. Let's see. Where was I at? Despite all of this, there has been one constantly excellent aspect of the CC program, the actual staff managing the day-to-day operations. I have had the pleasure of working with 4 different CC program managers. Me personally, I've only worked with one, and one other staff member that worked closely with the program. All of them have been highly competent, professional, and pleasant to interact with. They truly understood what made for a high-quality CC program and often advocated on our behalf. I couldn't get the current CC program manager to directly admit it, so I can't say for sure, but speaking in private, it certainly did seem that they didn't approve of the changes that were made either. I get the same vibe from the current guy. He's the guy that I've been working with too since 2.0. Yeah, it checks out with my experiences with the guy. So for these changes to be made and for the attempted damage control to be as disastrous as it was, at least to me, yeah, it was pretty disastrous. Sounds like meddling from corporate suits higher up in the management hierarchy, forcing through changes regardless of any protest from the actual boots on the ground with direct experience, but that's just my 2 cents. Yeah, this really does feel like the people up top are just like, well, fuck the global creators. We don't need them. We don't need the global creators. Nah, we don't need them. Even though when the CC program was at its best, revenue was at an all-time high, disregarding the launch revenue, which actually some of these points exceeded the launch revenue. But yeah, I mean, fuck the global CCs, all right? History doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. This is actually not the first time that the Snowbreak content creator program has had systemic issues. Last year, it was going through its fair share of troubles as well. The CC Media Kit, which CCs relied on to have access to splash arts, and for a while, there was no CC Media Kit in the previous 1.x content creator program. So they data mined it, and then we started getting the media kits again. So they stopped. Yeah. Point 2, CC rewards. CC rewards were not being distributed remotely on time. This patches took like 2 weeks. I shit you not. We just got them a couple days ago. One set of rewards being distributed so late that the premium battle pass reward, this was when all CCs got premium battle passes, was only days from being already expired. Yeah, he's talking about in the 1.x, I'm pretty sure here still. This led to multiple CCs paying out of pocket to upgrade the battle passes, which should have been a program reward. It was difficult to contact anyone mentioning the CC program because there was nobody assigned to managing it, which is probably why I couldn't get any contact with them either when I was trying to get into the program. Our best point of contact was the Snowbreak CC program manager, going above and beyond to help out on the Snowbreak side in their free time. What a hero. What a hero. That man right there deserves a raise. Concerns about these issues were raised as early as January of last year, but nothing was done for 6 months, leading to Nonpon and I, Vicyush, to make these issues public. And just like magic, a public statement. Here's the statement. We would like to thank all our content creators along the journey. The Snowbreak community cannot survive without your invaluable support. To express our gratitude, we will be providing thank you rewards for active content creators. Keep an eye out for official information with details, or reach out to Snowbreak CS at csungames.com if you have any questions. Additionally, we are refining the creator program in order to better align with the direction of the game while also providing a better experience for creators and players. We hope you will like the changes, which we will announce soon. Thank you for your patience and stay tuned. That was posted 1 week after Nonpon and Vic went public with those issues. Was posted 1 week later and changes were made, at which point I personally wrote about the positive changes. This is on his own Twitter. Some of my personal thoughts on the Snowbreak content creator program as of late. We recently got a new dedicated CC manager, and the difference in how the CC program is run has been night and day. Yeah, it was a lot better. Even me coming into it, I thought it was amazing. The current guy was doing great. It's too bad that they're kind of rug pulling him too, honestly. I think so. For reasons that you can probably guess, I am no longer able to stand by this endorsement. To anyone looking to apply to this Snowbreak CC program in its current state, all I can say is this: unless you are already an extremely large and established content creator, your work will not be valued, and you will not receive the support that the promotional recruitment material promises. Take your talents and apply them to a game that will properly reward you for your effort. It breaks my heart to say this, but Snowbreak Containment Zone in its current state is not that game. I agree. I love this game, but I completely agree with what he put there. I completely agree with it. Cover a better game. Don't come here. Cover a better game. Unlike the current situation, the original issues with the CC program leaned more toward general dysfunction rather than a seemingly intentional dismantling of a system that was already functioning well. The ship had been righted, and all that was needed was to continue things as they were. Yeah, if they hadn't have started changing shit, it would have been fine. They would still have most of the CCs that quit because of all this. Nothing needed to be changed. Agree. Unfortunately, though, it appears that less than 1 year after issuing a public promise to do better by their CCs, the lessons learned have either already been forgotten or intentionally ignored. But just like the last time the Snowbreak CC program ran into issues, it seems that nothing will meaningfully change for the better unless this is brought to light for all to see yet again. And because he refused to take this down, he was asked by the CC program manager, who was probably ordered by his higher-ups to do so. The manager asked him to take it down. He refused. And now this article. Disappointment, but unsurprised, my removal from Snowbreak's CC program, because it's easier to silence criticism than to improve on your shortcomings. Hi all, following the publishing of my article, the one we just went over, I was contacted by a representative from CSUN, the company that develops and publishes the game. They requested that I take down the article. I refused. After some discussion, an ultimatum was reached: take down the article or be terminated from the content creator program. Despite this threat, I stood firm in my decision. As a result, my time in the content creator program has now come to an end. When I published my article, I did it knowing full well that it would not be received well by CSUN, and that there would most likely be pressure to take the article down. I'm kind of expecting the same thing with this video. Despite this, I went forward with it anyway. It is regrettable that this ultimately led to my removal from the Snowbreak CC program, but I stand by what I say. To take down the article would be to turn my back on all of my fellow content creators and friends. They deserve to be treated with respect, and the work that they do deserves to be properly valued. If the cost of achieving that is me no longer being in the CC program, then that is the price I am happy to pay. I will not allow myself to be bullied into silence and will continue advocating for better treatment of those in the CC program. I'm expecting a DM sometime after this video goes live. On the other hand, by attempting to silence my criticisms instead of taking them as an opportunity to reflect and commit to improvement, CSUN's actions speak loud and clear. They are more interested in damage control and maintaining their image than actually doing right by their content creator community. The last time that the Snowbreak CC program had systemic issues, No action was done to address the complaints and feedback privately submitted for 6 months. But after these issues were made public, it took just 1 week for the statement to be published, promising to do better and for changes to be made. It is clear that without the threat of public outcry, community pressure, and damage to their reputation, nothing would have changed. This is true then, and I have no reason to believe that it isn't still true now. This is why I refuse to take down my article. If CSUN is not held publicly accountable, nothing will change. I am by no means a Snowbreak hater. I wholeheartedly wish the game to be as good as it can be. When the issues, I echo that, by the way, very much. I love the game. Things kind of suck right now, though. When the issues to the Snowbreak CC program were resolved last year, I personally wrote a public endorsement praising that one tweet, praising the changes that were made. I have always preferred to speak positively of Snowbreak, but I will never not criticize its flaws because understanding and identifying your shortcomings is the first step to improvement. If you care about the game you play and you are a content creator, you should be pointing out flaws. If you are just saying, "Oh, this is great," all the time, you're not helping the game. You're basically just telling them your garbage is fine like it is. You don't need to improve it. No, content creators should be pressuring the gacha companies to improving their games at every step. Every time that they fuck up, they need to not be told that their fuck ups are okay. They need to be told that their fuck ups are not okay and to fix it. We all should always criticize the games we play, speaking as a content creator. While I am no longer in the CC program, this is not the end of Snowbreak.gg or my coverage of the game. I have no immediate plans of discontinuing my work producing guides, reviews, and reporting on news related to Snowbreak, and remain dedicated to serving the amazing Snowbreak community. I humbly ask for your continued support in these future endeavors. You got mine. I genuinely hope that CSUN can do the right thing and do better by their content creator community. If things do improve, I will once again be the first to happily give credit where it's due. But things have to change, and only CSUN can make that happen. Vicyush, you, sir, deserve a medal. You took one for the team. Hopefully, I can help get this on more eyes. There's a very real chance that I'm going to be approached by the manager, but it doesn't matter. Barely get anything from the CC program as it is now. I won't be missing out on basically anything. And besides, my first several patches of this game, I wasn't even in the program. Yeah, this shit needs to be changed. It's because the rewards are so shit. We barely have any content creators left. They need to do what they did last time and stick to it this time. They need to come out publicly. They need to say, hey, we fucked up. Here's what we're going to do to fix it. And then fix it. I'm not going to hold my breath. But hopefully we can get this on more eyes and pressure them to fix their shit. That's the whole purpose of this video. Going over his article. This on stream, we're at 2 hours. So edited down, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to cut out from all of the silences and repetitions, but yeah, things need to change. There's just no future for the Snowbreak CCs as things are now. And if by posting this video, I get the same thing that he did, I get removed, so be it. Yeah, spread this around, guys. If you're watching this video, I wholeheartedly suggest that you submit either this video or this article for a bigger CC to react to. The more eyes we get on this, the better. Nothing's going to change if we don't get enough eyes on it. We need your help. That's all there is to it. We need the community to speak up. But, you know, we are just CC, so if you're just a regular Joe, if you're just a player, you don't make content, you don't care about this, I don't blame you. But I still would appreciate if you spread this around. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Bye.